Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. O Allah, expand my chest, ease my tiles, untie the knots in my tongue so that they may understand me. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. This is Haider Mehdi, and this is session 19 of our English recitations from the Ascendant Quran, an advanced English translation by Imam Muhammad Al-Asi. This has been published by Dr. Zafar Bangash and the Institute of Contemporary Islamic Thought here in Canada. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Today we start with Ayat 254 of Surah Al-Baqarah. Yesterday we finished Juz 2. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. O you who are securely committed to Allah, spend in our way out of what we have granted you as sustenance before there comes a day when there will be no bargaining and no friendship and no mediation. And they who are ideologically opposed to Allah, it is they who are criminally unjust. Allah, there is no deity authority to save him, the everlasting, the self-subsistent fount of all being. Neither slumber overtakes him nor sleep. His is all that is in the heavens and all that is in the earth. Who is there that could intercede with him unless it be by his leave? He knows all that lies open before them and all that is hidden from them, human beings. Whereas they cannot attain to any bit of his knowledge, save that which he wills them to attain. His eternal power overspreads the heavens and the earth, and their upholding wearies him not. And he alone is truly the exalted, the tremendous. There shall be no coercion in matters of faith, conviction. Distinct has now become the rightly mature way from the way of erroneousness. Hence, he who rejects inordinate and unbridled power structures and commits to Allah has indeed taken hold of a support most unfailing, which will never give way, for Allah is all hearing, all knowing. Allah is the patron of those who are committed to Him, taking them out of deep darkness into the light, whereas the patrons of those who are opposed to Allah are the powers of inordinate and unbridled power structures of evil who take them out of light into deep darkness. It is they who are destined to the fire, therein to stay forever. Are you not aware of he who argued with Ibrahim about his sustainer simply because Allah had granted him earthly reign and power? Lo, Ibrahim said, my sustainer is he who grants life and deals death. The king replied, I too grant life and deal death. Said Ibrahim, verily, Allah causes the sun to rise from the east, cause it then to rise in the west. Thereupon, he who was bent on denying the truth about Allah remained dumbfounded, for Allah does not guide people who deliberately and offensively do wrong. Or are you, O man of the small mind, as he who passed by a town deserted by its people with its foundations and ruins and said, how could Allah bring all this back to life after its death? Thereupon Allah caused him to be dead for 100 years. Whereafter he brought him back to life and said, how long have you remained thus? He, the traveler, answered, I have remained thus a day or part of a day. Said Allah, no, but you have remained thus for 100 years. But look at your food and your drink, untouched as it is by the passing of years. And look at your donkey. And we did all this so that we might make you a symbol for all people. And look at the bones of animals and men, how we put them together and then clothed them with flesh. And when all this became clear to him, he said, I know now that Allah has the power to will anything. And lo, Ibrahim said, O my sustainer, show me how you give life to the dead. Said he, have you then no faith? Ibrahim answered, yes, but let me see it, so that my heart may be set fully at rest. Said he, take then 4 birds and teach them how to obey you. Then place them separately on every hill around you. Then summon them. They will come flying to you, and know that Allah is prominent wise. The parable of those who spend their possessions for the sake of Allah is that of a grain out of which grow 7 ears. In every year, 100 grains. For Allah grants manifold increase to whom He wills, and Allah is vast, all knowing. They who spend their possessions for the sake of Allah and do not thereafter mar their spending by stressing their own benevolence and hurting the feelings of the needy shall have their reward with their sustainer, and no fear need they have, and neither shall they grieve. A word of courtesy and the concealing of another's want is better than a charitable deed followed by hurt, and Allah is self sufficient, forbearing. O you who are secure in your commitment to Allah, do not deprive your charitable deeds of all worth by stressing your own benevolence and hurting the feelings of the needy, as does he who spends his wealth only to be seen and praised by people and trusts not in Allah and the last day. For his parable is that of a smooth rock with a little earth upon it, and then a rainstorm smites it and leaves it hard and bare. Such as these shall have no gain whatever from all their good works, for Allah does not guide people who refuse to acknowledge the truth of Allah's guidance. And the parable of those who spend their possessions out of a longing to please Allah and out of their own inner stability is that of a garden on high, fertile ground. A rainstorm smites it, and thereupon it brings forth its yield twofold. And if no rainstorm smites it, soft rain falls upon it, and Allah sees all that you do. Would any of you like to have a garden of date palms and vines through which running waters flow and then be overtaken by old age, with only weak children to look after him, and then see it smitten by a fiery whirlwind and utterly scorched? In this way, Allah makes clear His wonderful messages to you said so that you might take to thinking. O you who are secure in your commitment to Allah, spend on others out of the good things you may have acquired and out of that which we bring forth for you from the earth. And choose not for your spending the bad things you yourselves would not accept without averting your eyes in disdain. And know that Allah is self sufficient, ever to be praised. Satan threatens you with the prospect of poverty and bids you to be niggardly, whereas Allah promises you His forgiveness and bounty, and Allah is infinite, all knowing, granting wisdom to whom He wills, and whoever is granted wisdom has indeed been granted goods abundant. But none bears this in mind save those who are endowed with insight. For whatever you may spend on others, or whatever you may vow to spend, verily Allah knows it, and those who do damage by withholding charity shall have none to support them. Sadaqallahul Azim. We come to the end for session 19. Inshallah, in our next session, we continue our recitation. I hope all of us are blessed by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to imbibe and live this Quran on a daily basis, and we create a socially just society. Sadaqallahu Azim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.